Okay, let us discuss about the formal risk analysis structures, that is OActiva and FAIR. So here these two are the risk assessment frameworks. OActiva is nothing but operationally critical threat, asset and vulnerability evaluation. This has been developed from the University Software Engineering Department Institute at Carnegie Mellon University, and another one is a FAIR. So it is a factor analysis of information risk. So from the open group it is going to be. So these two streams or systems work together, establishing a more secure environment, but with two different approaches and sets of priorities. The knowledge of the environment is the key to determining the security risks and plays a key role in the deriving the priorities. So let us see about the first one, that is OActiva. The OActiva is the figure that it is being shown over there, is a OActiva Allegro methodology. So the first in this is to establish a risk measurement criterion. So first it is saying that establish risk measurement criterion. So this provides a fairly simple means of doing this with an emphasis on the impact, value and measurement. The point of having this risk measurement criterion is that at any point in the later stages, prioritization can take place, again as the reference model. Second, it is develop interaction asset profile. Okay. So this second step is to asset profile. Okay, information about the asset profile. So this profile is populated with assets, a prioritization of assets, attributes associated with each asset, including owners, custodians, peoples, explicit security requirements, and technology assets. So it is important. to stress the importance of the process, certainly the need to protect information does not disappear. So but operationally safety and continuity are more critical. Third one is to identify information asset containers. So roughly speaking, here in this, the range of transports and possible locations where the information might resides. So this is very important container it is basically. So this reference the compute elements and the networks by which they communicate. So however, it can also mean a physical manifestations such as a hard copy documents or even people who knows about that particular information. So it should be very confidentiality information is there in this. The fourth one is to identify the reasons for concerns, areas of concerns. In this point, we depart from the data flow, touch and attribute focuses to one of where judgments are made through the mapping of security related attributes to more business focused use cases. At this stage, the analytics looks to risk profiles and delves into the previously mentioned risk analysis. So it is no longer just facts, but there is also an element of certainty that can factor into the evaluation. So references to similar operational use cases and incidents of security failures are reasonable associations in this. Fifth point is where the threat scenarios are identified. So threats are broadly identified as a potential undesirable events. So this definition results from both the malevolent as well as accidental causes of the variable threats. In this context, the operational focus is valuable considerations. So it is in this point that the explicit identification of actors, motivates and outcomes occurs. So these scenarios are described in threat trees to trace the path of undesired outcomes, which in turn can be associated with risk metrics. The next one, sixth, is the risks are identified. So within the OActive, the risk will be possibility of an undesired outcomes. This is extended to focus on how the organization is impacted. For more focused analysis, this can be localized, but the potential impact to the organization could extend outside the boundaries of the operations. Seventh step is risk analysis. With the effect placed on qualitative evaluation of the impacts of the risk. Here, the risk measurement criteria identifies and defined in a first step are explicitly brought into the process. The last one, mitigation. So this is applied at the last step, that is 8th step. There are 3 outputs or the decisions to be taken in this stage. First is accept a risk and do nothing. Means, other than document the situation, potential outcomes and reasons for accepting the risks. Second is to mitigate the risk with whatever the control effort is required. Here, walking back through the threat scenarios to assert profiles, a pairing of compensating controls to mitigate those threats or risks, pairing which should be discoverable and then implementable. And the final one is actions is to be, the possible action is to defer a decision. That is, meaning is that risk is neither accepted nor mitigated. So this may imply further research or activity, but it is not required by the process. It is not required by the. So OActive is a balanced information focused process. So beyond this, there is an assumption that beyond these steps, the seemingly means of identifying specific mitigations that can be mapped to the threats and risks exposed during the analysis process. Next, we'll see about the fair operation.